Alright guys, so today we're talking about our favorite game in MKM, what is the current state of the game, and I will start by basically telling my opinion. I think that the game currently is really in a good state, and before I continue, I know people are already scratching their heads like, what the hell, is the game isn't really that great. Actually it is, and before I get to the positives, I will quickly state the two obvious problems that the game currently has. I'm not saying that MKM is a perfect game, obviously it isn't. However, there's two things that needs to be addressed as soon as possible. The first one are the multiple bugs that unfortunately do not decrease with each update. In each update we have something like a major bug. What ideally I want to happen so that this gets fixed is that every single time when you have a huge update, for instance, weak point attacks doesn't work, I would like the developers to be able to shut down the game for, let's say, an hour and then patch it. I understand, I'm a developer myself, I understand it's impossible to create a product without a bug. Hopefully, a minor bug, but if there is a major bug, it needs to be taken care of immediately. And I bet many people will be okay if the game shuts down for 2 hours so that they can fix this bug, and then for the rest of the time until the next update you can actually use weak point attacks in our current case. Another problem with the game is the fact that the banning system is not really working. I experienced that myself. My beginner account was banned for no reason. Actually, I suspect what the reason is, but I'm still waiting for the official answer. The moment I receive it, I'm going to share it with you. But the thing is, the banning system doesn't really work well. There is an algorithm that's handling it, and in specific cases this algorithm doesn't really work. It works bad, and probably they have to either work on the algorithm or make sure that it doesn't take the final decision. There will be a human that decides. The algorithm just marks the accounts, and then there's a human who, let's say, review what the algorithm has flagged and why it has flagged it, and then decides, okay, ban or not ban. And another thing, I cannot really say for 100% sure whether this is the case, but many people stated in the comments that they never ever heard anybody getting unbanned after the appeal. I don't know why this is the case. To be honest, I never heard of such person as well, but I wish that the actual support of the game gets improved. And this is not only concerning the banning and the unbanning process, because if you want to get unbanned you have to appeal to support. However, the general support in MK Mobile is underwhelming at best. You don't really feel that you're communicating with a human being. They just operate with copy-paste templates, and I'm not against using templates. Of course, if you have to deal with 100 people every day, sometimes, I mean, those people have similar or exactly the same problems, and if you know the solution, you can send a template. But I tried multiple times to engage in a conversation like, guys, hold on, this is another issue. Actually, my issue is more specific because this and this and this and this and this, and I never got I know the feeling that I'm communicating with somebody who is really getting the issue, right? You say, okay, this guy, I'm going to just write him an email manually because I feel that I can help him in a different way and stuff like this. No, I just always have the feeling that I'm communicating with people who just copy-paste templates. That's my feeling, and I have contacted support more than 10 or 15 or even 20 times. So that's a lot. And unfortunately, I never get my issue fixed. Even the last time when I had to contact them regarding an MK Onslaught issue, they tried to help. I give them that. They tried to help, but at the end of the day, I solved my issue myself, which is crazy, but it is what it is. And with that out of the way, guys, now we're going to talk about the positives. We're going to compare the current state of MK Mobile with the past. By the way, special thanks to a guy who left a comment yesterday in one of my videos saying that MK Mobile is a cash grab, so we got into a discussion with this guy. But this inspired me to create this video because I don't agree with that. I think that MK Mobile currently is at its best state. And if you compare it to the game with before update 2.0, by the way, you can see here, that is July, August 2015, and all the way to update, there we go, this is update 2.0. It's happening right here, so you can see the spike going all the way up. This is what happened with the game after update 2.0. The game became generally better. There were no more hackers because everything here, as you can see, the game was in a steady rate. There's a spike probably around updates, so this is December. That's another December, so usually in December there are updates. and people were hooking up more on the game. But generally speaking, the game before 2019, before update 2.0, had pretty positive vibe playing it. Unfortunately, your gaming experience was ruined by immortal hackers, basically, or hackers that do 1 million damage on a single hit. There were no towers, it was just faction wars, and in faction wars you were facing HOMKX hackers, Bruce Wayne 6 hackers, people that are immortal, that don't take any damage and kill you with one hit. So faction wars was fun and not that fun. At least there were hackers who were giving you a chance, so they were super strong, but they didn't make their accounts immortal, so you can possibly beat them if you play really well. But anyways, the hackers disappeared after day 2.0, and you can see the life of the game after that. Those spikes again, probably updates, huge updates. By the way, July 2021, I remember that was very strong month. My biggest revenue ever on MK Mobile happened in July 2021. I don't know what the reason was, but there was a huge spike of people playing the game. Anyways, what I need to mention right now is that there was the so-called, I call them that way, the dark times of MK Mobile. They happened after, I mean, the game was getting worse and worse. And at a certain point, there was an update that introduced to the game Fargo Lucane and Classic Rain, my guy, Classic Rain. And do you know why this update was so bad? Because after this update, for a year and a half, we never got a pack containing the new diamonds. So they released Fargo Lucane, I believe it was June 2021, I'm not quite sure. I can actually, it wasn't 20, it was 22, something like this. Probably I might be mistaken, I don't know. But they released that guy 2021, I believe. Anyways, they released that guy, and then they released Classic Rain 2 months later. And for 1 year after that, we never got a pack containing either of those guys. So MK11 Shansung was the last card that got a pack after release, even though the pack was there for a couple of days, but still he got a pack. So if you had enough souls, you can get him. And then, you know, one thing led to the other. They completely removed new packs for souls. They started basically to make sure that you can get the new cards only in towers for a small percent chance. For instance, I'm not talking about tower 200, I'm talking about tower 100, and sometimes they're going to put them in other towers, tower 200, but with very small chances. So it was almost impossible for anybody who doesn't really want to spend a lot of money to even unlock those new characters. And on top of everything, they introduced the limit on every pack. Before that, you could open a pack as many times as possible. As long as the pack is there, there were no limits. You can open a pack, any pack, as many times as you wish, as long as you have the souls. And gradually they just destroyed this feeling of the game being kind of free-to-play friendly. And then we got the game for this year, 2023. I believe this year was the best year for MK Mobile ever, because so many great things happened to the game. First thing first, we got the Crypt, which now features the card that is released. The diamond card, the cash cow, is featured in the Crypt on the very same day as it's released. So every single person, and I mean every single person, even a person who's been playing the game for a month, on my beginner account, which is 6 weeks old, now I can farm 14,000 hearts a week. That is perfectly possible. The reason why I'm not doing it is because I just don't want to do it. There is no reason for that. But I'm farming 2,000 hearts per day. So if you just multiply 2,000 by 7, it's 14,000. And even if I'm, let's say, short 100, 200, 300, I can easily spend one key and then get the hearts that I require, the extra hearts. So what I'm trying to say is that every single person, even a free-to-play beginner that has just started the game, can enjoy the newest characters. That was absolutely unheard of and unthinkable just 2 years ago in the game. You can never imagine that. We were just hoping for them to give us a chance to give us a pack that gives you 3% chance to get a diamond. It would be crazy, right? As a new diamond, of course. And suddenly we got a lot of quality of life improvements. Now you can see the duration of the buffs, the duration of the debuffs, which is super useful for multiple things. For instance, if you want to do stun loop, you exactly know when the stun is going to expire. If you want to do, for instance, freeze loop, you know exactly when the freeze is going to expire. So all of these quality of life improvements meant something to me, at least. I really enjoy what the game, how the game improved over the past year. we got the crypt. I know many people think that the crypt is boring, but the crypt is actually better than the previous store. Before update 2.0, we had a store, and in this store you could buy all the goats in the game. As long as you unlock the goat and you get one copy of it, the goat will appear in the store, and you can buy the goat for the soul price tag. The problem with that store was that back then, before even we had quests, then you could get like 20 or 30 souls per day. So you could buy one goat every 10 days, something like that. So it was crazy. But in the old goat store, we didn't have diamonds. Right now we have a store that gives diamonds and goats. That is absolutely incredible. In fact, it's giving you goats that are not officially released as a challenge goat. For instance, Pyromancer Tanya. For instance, Lizard Jade. You name it. So currently, we no longer have the issue with the newest diamonds not being available for free to play, and currently the game is so free to play, beginner friendly, that I cannot even describe. You can get 5,000 souls in the beginning of the game. This is a huge, and I mean a huge advantage. Currently I have an account that I started 2 days ago. I never played on it, I just started it. I got the 5,000 souls, I spent them all on a pack that gives Combat Cup Johnny, and I now have Fusion 8 Combat Cup Johnny on my very first day in the game. And on top of everything, in the crypt you can buy epic tower gear. You know, the epic tower gear, when the game actually introduced the epic pieces, they were so difficult to get, super difficult to get. In the first pack you have 5% chance to get an epic if you spend money. And that's still, by the way, the case for certain packs of the Shiryu Tower. I believe they forgot to change the percentages. So the epics were impossible to get for so long, unless you have incredible luck in towers. But the chance is 0.005, for instance, to drop an epic. Right now, you can farm an epic in the crypt for only 6,000 hearts. I literally farmed an epic yesterday on the crypt on my beginner account. And once you farm a weapon, epic weapon, every single tower is going to be so much easier. So I definitely think that MKM Mobile currently is at its best state. Yes, it is not a perfect game, but it's heading in the right direction. Currently the game is so free to play friendly. Every single person can start the game, gets hooked up, gets the 5,000 souls, and then progress the account the way he thinks that it's good for him. Because 5,000 souls is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. For so long we were happy to get 500, but now we get 5,000 and a free diamond at the very start on your very first day. And from there you can basically gain souls by doing quests. Usually we have 2 or 3 towers available. That's another source of coins, of souls. You can easily open as many equipment packs as possible so that you can get your rare legacy pieces maxed out as fast as possible. So definitely when it comes to gameplay, when it comes to the quality of life improvements, all the filtering that you can do, filter by effect, filter by team, the things that we didn't have just a year ago, now you can have talents pre-set up. Because some of you probably don't know, but a couple of, probably 1 or 2 years ago, we didn't even have that. So every single time when you want to change your talents, you have to manually change it. There is no way that you can save the preset and then load it. The same was applicable for the teams. We didn't have this thing. And slowly but steadily, in my opinion, MKM Mobile improved a lot. They can still work on their offers for money, which is super bad, especially the Black Friday sales. I'm going to cover them in a separate video. But the point is, look at this. This was the previous best of MKM Mobile, which happened in July 2021. Again, I don't know what happened there, but the game was massively popular for about a month or two. It was crazy. And then it dropped. Look at this. Look at the drop. It was crazy. And after that, there was a lot of spike on updates. Another update here, spike. And look what happens from 2023. There we go. This is 2023. A little bit down here, and then all the way up. See, a little bit down. This is this goes. I mean, this spikes up and down can be explained easily. There is an update. People are hyped, and then the update effect wears off and people just don't really not that active. But look at this, it's going up. You see, you can see the trend, and right now it's actually higher than what it used to be in July 2021. And I can even search, for instance, like this, Mortal Kombat Mobile, and you can see the same result. Every single time when I search on Mortal Kombat Mobile, let's say a video game, there we go, it's the same thing. I don't know what happened here, why there is nothing, but every single time here you can see that the game is going upwards. So that's pretty crazy. Of course, again, this is because of the update hype. October was the month when the previous update was released, and it's expected to drop right here. But the general trend is going up. You see, it's going up, the general trend, which is cool, because the next update probably is going to get the game here or something. So I am really optimistic about the future of the game. I'm really happy that the developers are kind of listening to the feedback, and if they fix the banning system at least, because I don't think that they can redesign support. Support is there, support is not really useful, unfortunately, even though, again, MK Onslaught, my case, they tried, but I don't think that they can redesign and reform, if you wish, the Warner Brothers support just for MK Mobile. Don't think it's happening. So what I'm hoping is that they're going to think twice on how to fix the banning system, and also I hope that they're going to work hard on the bugs, because that's going to be super important. And I'm talking about the major bugs. I don't care if there's a bug, if you're doing special one with Lizard Baraka and the enemy Cold War Scarlet has Bone Shield and then the game crashes. Every single game will have such type of bugs, and in these specific cases it's understandable. You cannot design a product without any bugs. However, I would really want them to work on the major bugs, and the best case scenario is if they spot a major bug in the game, to work on a patch immediately, then they shut down the game for 1 or 2 hours and then deploy it once again once the patch is fixed. I hope and I know that most of the community will have no issues with that, because I will be fine not playing the game for 2 hours as long as after that I can use weak point attacks again, because weak point attacks is one of the major things that everybody uses in the talent tree. And the last thing that I want the game to change is I want better communication when something happens, whether it's a bug or a nerf. If a character, for instance, like MKM Kane, cannot really spam his special one anymore because he cannot hit enemies that are lying on the ground, I want to know whether this is a bug or nerf. I don't think it's a big deal just to mention in a patch note, this was bug, this was nerf. In a lot of cases in the patch notes, they're going to give you useless and self-evident information, such as we change the title of button in the game from, for instance, connect to press to connect, something like this, which is not really useful because we can see that immediately, but we want to know whether they actually changed the whole reptile event. Now you can apparently gain reptile multiple times, and that's a desired behavior of the event. However, this was never mentioned. This event has been the game for years. They changed it completely, and that's a game changer, by the way. Now for 10,000 souls, 10, 15,000 souls, you can get a maxed out diamond on your beginner account as long as you have the soul saved. Bam, like this, maxed out diamond. And they didn't really, they weren't bothered to mention that in the patch notes. Instead, they said that they changed the title of a button. I don't understand what's the logical sequence here. But anyways, guys, this is all I wanted to mention. Once again, in my opinion, MK Mobile is in great state at the moment, and I hope it's going upwards, because everything that happened for the last year is super cool. See you next time, guys, and have an amazing rest of your day. Take care.